In October 1952, Marine First Lieutenant Eric Peterson purchased a former racehorse, a mare called Ah Chim Hai, or Morning Flame, from a stable boy at a racetrack in Seoul, Korea, for the sum of $250. Reportedly, the stable hand needed the money to buy a prosthetic leg for his sister, who had stepped on a landmine. Peterson had gotten permission to purchase a horse to use as a pack animal to help carry the 22-pound projectiles used by the M20 recoilless rifles of the recoilless rifle platoon of the anti-tank company of the 1st Marine Division's 5th Marine Regiment. The chestnut mare, assumed to be between 3 and 4 years old at the time of her purchase, was renamed Recoilless after the platoon, and, as was often done with the name of the rifles, the name was eventually changed to Reckless. Reckless was of Mongolian horse stock, a sturdy breed thought to be little changed since the time of Genghis Khan. Although a small breed, they are a horse, not a pony, with relatively short but strong legs. In Mongolia, they are generally kept outside year-long, as they are resistant to weather. They are known for great stamina, despite their size, have hooves so hard that they are rarely shod, are sure-footed in rough terrain, and survive well on natural foliage, able to consume almost anything. All in all, the breed is well suited for the role of ammunition carrier. Platoon Sergeant Joseph Latham was given responsibility to train the horse, something called hoof training. The training included horse survival training. She was taught how to crawl under barbed wire, to lay down if she was caught under fire in the open, and to run for her bunker if there was an artillery attack. Reckless was described as a quick study. In camp, Reckless quickly became beloved by her fellow Marines. She was described as a dependable, beautiful animal, and she was sociable. If it was a cold night, she was known to sneak into the Marines' tents and sleep alongside them. She became renowned for her appetite and ability to eat almost anything. She liked drinking Coca-Cola as well as beer. She enjoyed scrambled eggs and candy, especially chocolate. She was given a special red and gold silk blanket, which she ate. She once interrupted a poker game by eating some $30 in poker chips. Sergeant John T. Myers would feed her apples, a favorite food. In the morning, she would come to his tent and wake him up by licking his face, expecting her apple. The Marine Corps was known for making a chocolate pudding that was so terrible that none of the Marines would eat it, except, of course, Sergeant Reckless, although it was said to give her diarrhea. The M20 recoilless rifle is a 75mm American weapon that was used in the latter part of the Second World War and throughout the Korean War. Recoilless rifles eject gas backwards as the gun fires, thus countering the recoil without the need for a heavy recoil mechanism. That allows a relatively large gun to be infantry portable. The rifle was designed as an anti-tank weapon. Its munition had a shaped warhead capable of penetrating 100mm of armor. However, in the rough terrain of Korea, tank warfare was uncommon, and the recoilless rifles were more commonly used as a heavy gun for close infantry support, engaging all kinds of targets. Reckless was a good fit for the company. Sturdy and reliable, she could carry 12 of the large rifle rounds in a single load. While she was said to jump the first time she heard a rifle fire, she quickly calmed down. After her first day in combat, she was seen calmly trying to eat a discarded M1 helmet liner. As Sergeant Myers said of her, any animals in the area would take off, but that horse would stay calm. She would memorize a path after being shown it only a few times, thus allowing her to carry supplies and ammunition alone, without a handler. In combat, she would often carry a wounded Marine back on her return trip. Her most famous battle was the March 26th to 28th, 1953 Battle for the Outpost Vegas. The battle was fought just 4 months before the end of the war, as Chinese troops tried to overrun UN positions in order to improve their leverage in ongoing peace talks. It was a desperate fight and one of the bloodiest battles of the Korean War. Reckless's platoon was stationed on a hill opposite Outpost Vegas, where their fire of their recoilless rifles was vital, first to defend, and then to retake the position. During one single day, she made 51 solo trips for ammunition, carrying 386 recoilless rifle rounds to her platoon, covering a distance of 35 miles in that day. In 2013, Sergeant Harold Wadley recalled, "I looked back at the eastern skyline, through all the smoke and fleeting flare light, and I could hardly believe my eyes. The silhouette of a heavily laden horse came in and out of view along the ridge." Reckless received 2 wounds from shrapnel in the battle, one on her flank and one above her eye. She is seen here with Navy Hospital Corpsman George Doc Mitchell, who treated her wounds. She's wearing an Australian campaign hat, which she later ate. For her service, she was given official military rank and was promoted personally by General Randolph Pate, commander of the 1st Marine Division, and eventually Commandant of the Marine Corps. She achieved the rank of Staff Sergeant. After the war, Reckless was returned to the United States, with transport provided by the Pacific Transport Lines aboard the SS Pacific Transport. She arrived in the U.S. on November 10, 1954, which happened to be the birthday of the Marine Corps. She attended the birthday ball in San Francisco, where she ate both cake and the flower decorations. Reckless was housed at Camp Pendleton, California, where she produced 4 foals. She retired with full military honors in 1960, and per military records, was provided free housing and food in lieu of retirement pay. She died in 1968. While Reckless was certainly beloved by the men who served with her, and quite the hero in the United States thanks to articles in the Saturday Evening Post and an appearance on the Art Linkletter show, Sergeant Reckless also is a symbol of a conflict in which 33,000 American servicemen lost their lives, but is still little remembered, sometimes called the Forgotten War. Memorials to Sergeant Reckless at the National Museum of the United States Marine Corps in Quantico, Virginia, and at Camp Pendleton represent the sacrifice of the 1.7 million American veterans of the conflict. For her exemplary service to the Marine Corps, Staff Sergeant Reckless was awarded 2 Purple Hearts, a Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, a Presidential Unit Citation with Bronze Star, the National Defense Service Medal, a Korean Service Medal, the United Nations Korea Medal, a Navy Unit Commendation, and a Republic of Korea Presidential Unit Citation, all of which would be displayed on her blanket, which she sometimes ate. If you enjoyed this History Guy short, then feel free to click that like button, subscribe to our channel, and check us out on Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and our merchandise on teespring.com.